get going after that.
In the darkest nights, we find our light. Battered souls, but we won't lose sight. Surviving together, never alone. Through every trial, we carry on. Surviving together, never alone. Through every trial, we carry on. Surviving together, we stand tall. United forever. Strength and courage will overcome. Surviving together, victorious, and never, never alone. Hand in hand, we'll face the unknown.
We see you, we hear you, and we believe you. Hey everybody, how you doing tonight? Oh gosh, I am so glad to be here with you guys. Let's see who we've got. We've got a great show for you tonight. Misha, good to see you. Crystal, Phoenix, so glad you are here as well. Deaudrey, glad you made it. Crystal M, so glad you're here. How has work been going, Crystal? How are you doing? Janet, good to see you. Glad you're here. Body Illusion. Welcome, 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 everybody tonight. So yes, if you didn't know, how did David do with his surgery? He did well. He is actually on the other side of this wall, and he's resting. It's yesterday and today are the most painful days, so it's trying to get up and down and laying there and not being able to do really a whole lot, kind of boring. So somebody with ADHD, it's not the most fun thing in the world, but he's getting there. So, but the surgery did go well. There was no unexpected things. So very, very thankful for that. Work's been going okay. Hey, we'll take it, right? We'll take okay. Hey, Shannon. No worries, not late. We're just getting started, just kind of taking roll call and seeing how everyone's doing. So yes, I have been doing nursemaid duties yesterday and today. My son wasn't feeling the great this morning either, so I had him. So I took the day off of work as well. So been able to focus on that, and I've definitely got some cardio workout, and I do have David to thank, and my forgetful brain, because I will go up and down the stairs 15 times because he'll have asked me for two things and I'll forget, and I'll bring him something different, something that I think's good. Whatever. Hi, Ruby's mommy. So glad you're here. All right. Well, if you don't know, you've landed at Surviving Together because I am famous for not announcing the channel right away. Ruby's mommy, you're Ellen. Good to see you, Ellen. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. We're going to be talking about trauma today, and we're going to be speaking with our very own Crystal Phoenix, and we're going to speak a little bit about her journey with trauma and what she's done with that in her adult life, and how that has affected her, and where she is now, and what did her healing journey look like. So that is kind of the show for tonight. She was gracious enough to come on, so I didn't have to prep a whole new subject for tonight, because I knew I wouldn't have a whole lot of time with the surgery and everything. Gosh, we were at the hospital till he was out of surgery at 11:45. We didn't get home until it was like 4. So it was in recovery for a while, and then we had to stop and get meds and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was a long day. Crystal M's got a lot done over the last 5 days and getting things organized again. That is fabulous. Remind me, are you going to be moving again? I'm not sure. I can't remember what the deal is with your apartment because I knew you were on a list and I thought you were going to be getting something. Remind us about that. It's like I can't quite remember. Let's see if I had anything else to tell you guys. Oh, at work. Oh, got it. I understand. Yeah, I bet after being gone so long, hopefully you weren't left a total mess. But I can see as to somebody else might have their thing and you've got it like, no, this is how I do things. Get it all done that way. Absolutely everything. Thanks, Body Illusion. Thanks everybody for your thoughts and your prayers about it. You kind of never know until you get in there when you have an internal injury and you can't see it. So I was really happy to hear that they didn't have any complications, that there was nothing really unexpected with it. It's just one of those things that's got to heal, and it's something that's healing on the inside. And I mean, you can tell when the little scars and the scabs heal over, but when the inside incision is done, you got to kind of keep being very cognizant of your movements, of how much you're lifting, of all of that stuff for, quite a number of weeks afterwards, just so you don't fool yourself into thinking something like that is like healed, and it's not, and then you go and do something really stupid. So that's what we definitely want to avoid. Oh, okay. You're supposed to be done by the end of this month, the renovations. But Crystal might move into her new place by the end of the year. Nice. Okay. Lawless World, welcome. Thank you for coming and to support Crystal. That's wonderful. If you haven't, guys, if you can hit that like button, all right, and if you subscribe to us, you can be able to hit the bell for notifications, be able to get the notification, hopefully, when we go live. It's at 6 p.m. on Wednesdays and 3 p.m. on Saturdays, and that is Eastern Standard Time because I am in Michigan. So I am about the farthest west you can get without getting into Central Time. So let's see, what else did I have to tell you? Oh, so excited. Just another little bit of news, and then I'll be bringing Crystal on. We passed 2,000 watch hours, guys. I'm so excited. I have no idea whether I'll be able to do what I need to do to be able to reach that 1,000 subscribers by, I think it's sometime in February, or even get the other 2,000. But I know that it's possible for next year. So I'm thrilled at where we're at. And we have 229 subscribers. So we're creeping on 250. We're getting closer. We're definitely getting closer. It's like 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 every week. It just kind of depends. And we'll just kind of keep, creeping up. So yeah, really excited that we are just going in the right direction. Lawless is your brother, Crystal Phoenix. That is wonderful. Okay. Aw, Misha, you were not late, and that is the cutest thing. Daddy brought the fur boys home new jackets, and you're helping them open their boxes. That's so cute. Ellen, thank you so much for subscribing. We really appreciate that. We are definitely trying to get the word out to everybody. Subscribing, liking, commenting after the show, all of that tells the algorithm that people are watching. And if people are watching, then it's going to push it out to other people. And that's what we want. We just want people to know that we exist and that there's a place for them, a place where you can come, a place where you can connect with other people. who have been through, similar situations, who understand your trauma. Um, I always say on this show, trauma is trauma is trauma. And so with that, we are bringing our very own Crystal Phoenix on here. Hello.
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 So you have the watch hours, okay?
Yeah.
I just over the past weekend reached 326 subs.
Woohoo!
But you've got me on watch
Yay!
hours massively. I will give
That's
you.
okay.
you've got
Mary Jones with Blessed to Crochet. She has got us all beat. She hit her 1,000, and I think she's almost got her watch hours too.
Mhm.
So that's awesome. And I talked to her and I said, give me your tips. What worked, what didn't, because
Yeah.
for a channel like hers to hit 1,000, that is just fabulous. It's not a run of the mill viral type thing. So Krista Melinda, so glad you are here.
So yes.
And 2,000 watch minutes, Misha, take it. All right, take it. Your music's awesome. Your music's awesome, and your poems are just fabulous.
I do appreciate the fact that Lawless saw me pop up live and dropped in to say hi. Yeah, he's brother from another mother. He is one of my YouTube family community.
That's
and
awesome.
I appreciate that.
That's awesome. Crystal and I were speaking before. We were just kind of getting to know each other a little bit more and what she's doing. And Misha says, oh, yeah, Mary Jones, she's now legendary, monetized. She's monetized now. She's legendary status regarding connections. Yes, she is the connection queen. She will definitely. She's got tendrils going. It reminds me of neurons in the brain where there's tendrils just go.
I do that on LinkedIn. Now, if I could bring my LinkedIn connections and followers to my YouTube channel, I'd be golden.
There you go.
I have over 2,500 LinkedIn followers.
Awesome.
And I think I have 1,000 connections.
That's cool.
And out of that 1,000 connections, I actually work a lot with about 200 of them. A lot.
Sweet. Yeah, and that's just a matter of marketing yourself and getting the word out and
in audio
and sharing it with people.
Yeah, a lot of them are mental health professionals.
Mm-hmm. That is awesome.
Mm-hmm. You were asking me about LinkedIn.
Here. Yeah, because it's not something. I mean, I'm on it, but it's
a lot of people think it's just a job thing.
Yeah, but I got on it because of being a lawyer, and it's that's what but I don't do anything with it. So
thank you, Misha. I love you too.
Krista, beast yourself. She does so much for our communities. Misha says, yes.
Misha was actually live with me on Sunday.
Oh, that's awesome.
I kind of twisted her arm. She came in at the end because I was talking about 2 book projects. My Survivor anthology that I've been promoting. And then another friend of mine is publishing another book anthology. She's actually the creator of All the Rattled Awakes. And I was talking about those in honor of my friend Michelle, who passed on Saturday from cancer. She found out 3 weeks ago and then passed.
Oh.
Yeah. And Misha jumped up live for about the last 20 minutes or so with me. And we had a great conversation.
Is awesome. We love our Misha. She is an incredible woman who does so much.
Her and her daughter are both actually writing in the domestic abuse survivor anthology.
Wonderful.
They're both writing a chapter for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And
let's get back to the books, because I want to talk about that a little bit at the end as well. But just briefly, kind of like we did beforehand, can you just let everybody know how you got involved with domestic violence and trauma issues?
Well, I'm a survivor. It's
That's
simple as
awesome.
that. But instead of staying in the victim zone, as
Mhm.
I like to call it, I made the choice to help others. And in that, making that decision actually was a very easy one for me.
Mhm.
I took part in a documentary called Expose, and that's actually here on YouTube as well. And the reason that I did it, I met the woman Anastasia in a survivor support group,
Mhm.
and she was putting together a domestic abuse documentary about healing after
Okay.
and giving survivors a chance to tell their stories. And I made the comment, why, when I was asked, why do you want to do this?
Mhm.
And it was true then, and it's definitely true now. If sharing my story can help one person, then what the hell I went through was worth it.
Yep.
Thank you, surviving. Thank you for putting that out there. Yes, it's called Expose. I can text Misha the link for the documentary. Well, actually, it's my personal interview is actually on my channel. If Misha wants to drop my channel link in the comments, I can also send out the actual podcast link for it if you want.
Crystal, yep, here's a link Misha dropped in for that.
Yep.
And I'm also going to drop her link into the description as well.
Yeah, and I'm
And
going to do the same on my side, but
yep,
I will do it after in the edit
exactly.
section.
Ta-da! Same here. I got a few things in beforehand,
Um,
but that was about it.
But honestly, when it came to the trauma, my story is, even in my childhood, wasn't the best. Yes, I was raised upper middle class. So no, I would,
Okay.
but that doesn't mean anything.
No.
There's abuse in every class, every race, all of it. I can show you the stats on it.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm so glad to have somebody like you then to come and represent the upper middle class. I was probably like middle class, and yeah, it happens to absolutely
Yeah.
everybody.
I mean,
Can happen
Yeah.
to anyone.
It can happen to anybody. It doesn't matter if you're straight, gay, it doesn't matter your sexual orientation. It doesn't matter your race. It does not matter any of it.
Exactly.
And what's even scarier is it actually is very common in the upper class. You just don't hear about it as much because they hide it, because they're
People cover up for each other and things of this nature.
and the women don't want to lose their lifestyle.
Yeah.
And they're also scared.
I have
Because
been
people
doing
with
a
power-
lot of research into these pedo rings in the 60s and 70s and the cover-ups that went on. And I got to imagine the wives at that time just doing one of these numbers,
And yes, my Ollie ravioli, it doesn't matter your gender. It happens to everybody. Ollie was actually on the panel when Misha jumped up on Saturday. Or on Sunday, I had just dropped the link for anybody at one point that wanted to just join. Because
Yeah.
once a certain point, once you're done talking about your main thing, sitting up here talking alone, it's so much easier for me to be talking like this with somebody you actually hear the comments and stuff.
Yeah. So yeah.
Hi, Glitter. Finally, Glitter. I'm so happy to see you, my love.
Glitter World. It has been so long since I have seen you.
Yeah,
welcome, guys.
I think she's on my side because Ollie can see her. But either way,
I can see the little links next to their name.
Yeah, the little links are saying that they're on
your side. That's awesome. Okay, cool. Now I can see what.
See, you learned something new about StreamYard.
I know. I was telling Crystal before. I just am starting to get with the editing, and you guys saw my trauma series, and I tried really hard, and I didn't. Obviously, because I was live, have it all, but I got some multimedia in there. So that's, really what I want to try and do for for some of these other things and some of my videos that we want to do. And oh, if you know, to me, it's I'm like, Abigail is my chat GDP. That's what I named her. It's Abigail. And I'm like, okay, find me the easiest video editor in the world, you know, and it gives me like the top 10 things. And I'm like, okay, let's try these and see, are they? And I'm like,
no,
you know, this one looks like it's really nice and everything, but where in the hell's the resolution? Because, you know, video's always in the wrong resolution for YouTube, you know, just like,
and whoever tells you that Canva is easy, lies.
Okay, we'll have to talk to Janet. She is our Canva queen.
Oh, and so is Jen Lynn. And speaking of, we were talking about books. Lonnie Ray actually just popped up. She's the one that I wrote with her in Rattled Awake Volume 3, Rattled Awake volume, I think it was 10 or 14. I know I've written in 2 Rattled Awakes, and we were promoting her new book, Speechless, on Sunday.
Oh, awesome. So welcome. Firefly in Mean Sea and
the Rattled Awake books is Lonnie Ray.
Books.
Yeah, that's Lonnie Ray.
Lonnie, very, very, very happy to meet you guys.
Yeah. So
everybody, you know, from my side, if you have not checked out Crystal's channel, please do so. She's got some wonderful content over there. You know, she's doing live. She's got some videos, you know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Remember, we talk trauma is trauma is trauma. Yep. She has been through physical abuse, emotional.
Let's just say the 4 types. Let's just say the 4 types of abuse. Check mark.
We just completed them all. Okay, great.
Let's just check the box. It's there. I've got it all covered, and I refuse to stay in the victim zone. Now, don't get me wrong. There are good days and there are bad days when it comes to trauma. I volunteer with an organization called Break the Silence Against Domestic Violence. I work on their support line phones Mondays, and then I also I work their Facebook support 2 days a week, and I also am helping them get their LinkedIn page up and going, like with content and things like that. And they call it like the 4 stages, because you have victim, survivor, thriver, and warrior. And yes, Firefly, I do disassociate. Yes, I do. What is LinkedIn? I will explain in a few minutes. But yes, I have reached warrior stage. Okay. But that doesn't mean that I don't have days where I can almost go all the way back to victim.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. You get a big enough trigger. I had it the other day. Somebody said, and it was a 2-word phrase, and they did not mean anything by that. Nothing close to how it just immediately, I was like, boom, I was that 7-year-old kid again.
Can you highlight Carry On's last comment?
Yep. Let me see. Here we go.
Yeah. Because I will actually address that. Because I am trauma trained. Can
you list the 4 types of abuse? Yeah. I can think of sexual, physical, psychological, and emotional.
Psychological and emotional are actually tied together. The 4th type of domestic abuse is actually financial. Those are the 4 classifications, actually, because psychological and emotional are classified under 1.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is spiritual, but that also gets tied in with the psychological and emotional crystal. If you go to the courts, the 4 types of abuse classifications are sexual, physical, mental, because psychological, emotional, and spiritual all go within that, and financial. Those are the 4 classifications of abuse.
Now, from speaking with you earlier, I understand that you had a relationship, an adult relationship that was very toxic. And it was after you got out of that relationship, then you made your decisions to start helping others. You really started your healing journey. That how did you decide to start your healing journey?
Well,
What was the main
I
gist for
wanted
that?
to heal anyway. I didn't want to have an anxiety attack if you closed a door hard.
Right.
I wanted my kids back. I
Yeah.
wanted to
Right.
heal. I
Right.
wanted
Right.
to be
Right.
healthy for them. I wanted to be healthy for me.
Yeah.
But truth of the matter was the start of the journey when I did expose, truthfully, I was in the fake it to make it stage.
Yeah.
I was just because I was also still in the midst of the trauma bond.
Mm-hmm.
Because he wouldn't leave me alone. He was still harassing me. He was still harassing Matt. He was harassing my children. It was all just
Right.
wonderful.
Right. Yeah.
Honestly, the most of my healing has been in the last year. The most intense part and the best of it. And I have to honestly say that a lot of that had to do with LinkedIn, and I will give credit where credit is due. Lonnie, and starting my writing journey.
Awesome. That's
When
fabulous.
I wrote Rattled Awake Volume 3, because sharing my story verbally, yeah, it is healing. But truthfully,
Mm-hmm.
writing for me, and I'm not talking journaling, for me, writing it the way that I have been in the different anthologies and things
Writing it for an audience other than yourself.
helped a lot. It really spurred a lot of it.
Good.
Because it made me actually look inside.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because you're telling when you're writing in an anthology, I like to jokingly, but it's not really a joke. I like to call it writing the Cliff Notes version of your story.
Mm-hmm.
Or when you read the back of a book, say you're at Barnes and Noble, looking through fiction section, you're reading the back of the books to figure out what grabs your interest. That's what writing a chapter in an anthology is. It's the prequel for your bigger story.
Kristen says, I've always wanted to write a book, but I never knew where to get started. You're so inspiring. That is awesome. Well, now you've got somebody to connect with if you've got questions.
Absolutely.
How
My
did you fall
channel
into
was dropped.
how did you fall into the writing? I mean, was it through LinkedIn that you met somebody at a support group or something? And that's
Yep. Nope. I went. Okay. The thing about LinkedIn is I take part in a lot of audio rooms. Audio rooms are kind of
oh,
like these, but
I
you
had
don't
no
see the
idea they had
comments.
them.
Oh yes. I actually
Oh my
have a
gosh.
video on my channel. Hi Izzy, love you, honey. Of a audio event that I did with Jen Lynn promoting her Chroma program.
Okay.
Yeah, Ollie's like, audio rooms are amazing. Of course he would say that. Ollie is part of my LinkedIn family.
Okay. College of Hogwarts, hello. I haven't said hello to you yet. So,
Yeah.
and Izzy, hello to you as well.
Yes.
Welcome,
Izzy
welcome,
made my new
welcome.
banner, by the way. If you
Oh,
hadn't
that's
noticed it, yeah.
fabulous.
I love,
Fabulous.
yep. But so I was in a summit, a global summit, done by Level Up Academy, and that is how I met Lonnie Ray and Dr. New.
Okay.
Dr. New recommended me to write in Rattled Awake Volume 3.
Oh, awesome.
And Lonnie and I talked, and that's how that happened. And that's where
Cool.
that started.
Right, right, right. Awesome.
And then I wrote in 2 Level Up Academy books. Beyond Boundaries and Beyond Boxes. Ollie and I wrote in Beyond Boundaries together. I always get Beyond Boundaries and Beyond Boxes mixed up because they were back to back.
Where are these published?
Amazon.
Okay, that's what I was gonna.
If you put my name, Crystal Bay, in on Amazon, you can get to my authors page.
Okay.
And all of them are there. Also, Lonnie, you can actually drop the link for the Rattled Awake Amazon page.
Absolutely.
You do have a wrench on my channel, so you can drop that link, and then Misha can grab it from there and post it on Surviving's channel as well, if you don't mind, my love.
So
Misha's bouncing back and forth between our channels.
She's doing a great job.
Because she's got a wrench on my channel.
Okay, she's wrenching everywhere today. So
and she just dropped the link on, I think, yours.
She just dropped the link on Izzy's. I guess Izzy does more designs.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the Amazon.
And here is here's the Amazon stores.
And that will get you all the Rattled.
And you can find it on Amazon, the paper or the Kindle.
Yep.
As well. So that's
all of my books. And honestly, I would recommend looking into the entire Rattled Awake series. Is amazing. I've written in 2 of them, but the whole series is amazing.
That is awesome.
It really does help. I mean, on my channel, I have the four books that I have done. Like my chapters are all, I did an audible version on my channel under the podcast list.
Right.
And then for my friend Michelle, that wrote in Rattled Awake Volume 3. She's from South Africa, and I have a friend that's from there. So I'm going to see if she will do a podcast version of her chapter with the South African accent.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. I have
Thank you, Lonnie.
South African friends. So they're wonderful. So yes, everybody, please check out the other channels that we're getting, more connections, more people to look at. Not everything's going to be for you. We understand that, but give them a look, see if these books are something that you're interested. Some of these other places, you've got Crystals, please go over there and sub to her. Any of you guys want to come over here, sub on over here and hit the like button. Do it on each other's channel. Let's get some of those views up for each other, guys. And yes, as Misha says, we are building those villages. We are getting there, right? Yep, we are lifting our voices up. Now, one of the things that you had said to me that I wanted to explore a little bit more beforehand is that what you are doing now is actually speaking to domestic violence victims, people who are like just fresh out, have just gotten out, and then you step in. What do you tell them? What's the first thing that most of them need to know and hear?
It wasn't your fault. You didn't deserve it. And it will be okay. It's gonna suck. It's gonna be hard. You'll doubt yourself, but that's why you build a good support system and you keep moving. And I don't mean physically moving, but you just keep going.
Yep.
And there are going to be good days. There's going to be bad days. I mean, honestly, I've been dealing with a lot of death in the last few weeks. Some natural causes and some not.
Sorry. Right.
16-year-old, my friend's 16-year-old daughter was murdered a couple weeks ago. Like I said,
am so sorry.
And with that happening, and then I got the flu, I kind of said F you to the world for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You can ask Ollie because, like I said, he's part of my inner circle. You know, I had quite a few people messaging me like, hey, are you alive?
Right.
Yes, life check is good. Breathing.
Yeah.
That's about as far as I'm going to go.
No, absolutely. You can, ask any of the people in my inner circle, and very, very common isolation for any trauma victim. And this is why, guys, what you heard Crystal say, is this any different than what we're going to say to a sexual assault survivor when we get them in our arms? No. The trauma event can be different, but the trauma that comes into our body, the trauma effects that we feel, all of that's the same, and it manifests pretty much the same, right?
I mean, everybody's symptoms can be different. Like
exactly, that's what I was going to say next. Absolutely, yeah.
One of mine, and I do it a lot of times subconsciously. Misha can verify this one, so can Lonnie and Ollie. I hum.
Yes, humming is a wonderful way to activate your parasympathetic nervous system. We've talked about that before. If you don't know, that is the calming part of your nervous system.
But my humming actually has started to cause trauma to Matt.
Oh. He's just like, no more humming. As you go, here's your earbuds.
Yes, I love you, Ollie. He goes, you are a humming phoenix. Oh. But I'm a kitty phoenix, darn it.
A humming kitty. A humming kitty.
Stupid.
Shut it. No peanut gallery
welcome. Welcome.
Sorry about the peanut gallery.
That's fine. David would be in mine, except he's stuck in bed. So if he gets really on it, I know I'll hear him yell through the wall.
But like everybody, I hum, and sometimes it's subconscious. Sometimes, and I don't mean to, but I do.
It's a self-soothing mechanism, and
it's one of the ways that my body starts to get that anxious energy out.
That is wonderful. But it's also subconsciously that you sometimes don't even know it. That means that your body is so used to it that it's kicking in even before you're realizing it. So your healing has taken over the animal part. That's
Matt sees it as an early warning sign.
I can see that as well. However, I'm going to celebrate the success part, but at least, yes. But we like early warning signs, right?
Oh God, Ollie. Oh my God. Ollie, oh my God.
Coming from Crystal is a canary in the mind. Yes, if Crystal starts humming, watch out. This is going to be it.
And my hair is now my face is now as red as Matt. Thanks, Ollie. Right. Don't feed into the madness that is Matthew.
Crystal has a sound that she makes. Our other Crystal has a sound that she makes in there as well. And Misha said you're purring. It's not humming, it's purring. That is absolutely wonderful. It's a way of exuding your power in your own special way. That is awesome.
My friend Cherry, she actually finds my humming calming for her. Like,
good, that's nice.
Like, and how she deals with her energy or with her trauma and stress is crying. As an empath, she cries.
Some people it can be very cleansing, very cathartic.
But she's also one of the things that I try to work with trauma victims, whether it's domestic abuse or just trauma in itself. You don't have to be in an abusive relationship to get out of a bad relationship, have a bad breakup. You could have been just really in love with the dude and they broke up with you. That's traumatic in itself. Losing a job, it doesn't have to be abuse for you to, feel trauma, feel hurt, feel any of it.
Absolutely not.
And one of the things that I always tell people is that they are enough. And it's okay to cry. Never apologize for feeling your emotions, whether it's anger, sadness, happiness, any of it. You know, you're entitled to your emotions. It's how you express them.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with tears. They're cleansing.
Nothing wrong with anger.
No.
It's when your anger projects
Sex.
and you're putting it on somebody else.
Yeah.
That's your issue.
I mean,
but
doing
absolutely
taekwondo.
feel your anger. Well, and
Mhm.
somebody for a physical, you know, I did
Mhm. You know,
was not in a mainly physical abusive relationship.
mine
can-
was mostly emotional,
and I
but
can
there was physical in it.
empathize with that physicalness and certainly with the emotional. Just being married to an addict, being married to an alcoholic is, you know, it's a whole trauma within and of itself. And you had that addict
You know,
situation as well.
I also drum. When I was really bad with my anxiety in the beginning, when I first got out, Matt literally got me a big thing of drumsticks, and we had drumsticks in every vehicle and every room in the house, and literally would sit there, even driving, I'd have a drumstick if it, you know, punching bag.
Yeah, if it's helped getting that energy out, absolutely. Absolutely.
I won't deny it. Yes, I was taught how to shoot competition pistol when I was a kid. So going out to the gun range, well, we live on 300 acres, so
your gun range is your back door.
putting some
that's
targets,
awesome. Yeah, but that's awesome.
Yeah, putting some targets out and going out shooting is healing. It doesn't, you know, if you need that physical release, go running, use a punching bag, you know,
anything to get that dopamine going. Anything to activate that parasympathetic nervous system, guys. So that's what we're talking about. So remember, we're talking about humming. We're talking about dancing your heart out like nobody's watching. Anything to kind of get that things going.
Yeah.
Keep in mind for any of you that, you know, are in a committed relationship and love somebody, that, you know, intimacy is also a wonderful way to release dopamine in your brain as well. And, you know,
now I don't recommend angry sex. I don't. It can be fun, but I don't recommend it.
Nope.
And Matt and I have
not a thing.
We actually don't do makeup sex.
Nope. I've never done that either. And there's just something about separating.
Because it degrades it.
Separating the argument from, okay, yes, we're going to work on that. And yes, we're going to, you know, keep going with this.
But at the same time, if you have a bunch of built up frustrations, having a little bit of a rough romp with your partner, that's different.
And if there's consent and everybody likes it that way, go for it. Knock yourself out. You will absolutely never hear any sort of kink judgment or any judgment whatsoever on this channel for what you do within your personal lives. That's your personal life. And as long as there is consent, that is all I care about in the universe.
The boundaries are, you know.
Yes.
There's a reason why in the kink world you have a safe word.
Oh, yes. 100%.
Because if that safe word is used, that means we've gone a little too far. Stop. Absolutely.
And then someone has to be able to respect those boundaries, or they're not going to do well within that world, because they're there for that absolute reason. Because I mean, anybody who's, you know, had a active, you know, sex life, or just, you know, an individual one, you get going and your brain gets fuzzy, and, you know,
and that's why I won't lie.
Why you need something like that.
I had 2 safe words in 2 relationships.
Jolt somebody, you know.
One was orange, and the other one was bicycle.
You need something that you normally wouldn't be saying in that kind of context.
Exactly.
It can't be stop. It can't be don't. It can't be, you know, you just go alligator, you know. I mean, something just the most odd thing that you would just be like, what? You know, that you gotta go,
Bicycle.
huh? Yeah, exactly. That is gonna stop somebody in their tracks because they're like, what did you say?
Mm-hmm.
Then they're gonna be able to come back to reality
Yeah.
and respect your boundaries.
But
And I
and
always
all
say, if
of
someone
these
does not respect your boundaries,
Peace.
you go,
Yeah.
leave. You
Yeah.
talk to them later if they're a friend of
Mhm.
yours.
Yeah.
If they're just a date, well,
Mhm.
sorry, I guess that one didn't go so well.
Yeah. You know, and the thing is, it's like I will never judge somebody because they have a darker side when it comes to any of it. You know, and I dislike it when other people do,
Mm-hmm.
when they judge. It's like, okay, you don't like that world. You don't like that that person shared that part of themselves with you. Set a boundary, walk away.
Right.
Don't actively try to hurt them,
Mm-hmm.
which
Or
is
get
something
them
that,
to see how what they're doing is somehow wrong,
yeah,
or
something that I have seen very recently with a few people,
mm,
and I've seen people that someone that I'm very close to hurt
mm,
because of something like this. And it kills me because that person's a wonderful person. And just because they have a darker side, and it's not even something they've ever acted on, they're being judged and ostracized.
mm-hmm.
That's not right.
No, 100%. And this is something we actually haven't talked a whole heck of a lot on my channel about, because in general, we're talking about healing from trauma, from sex,
Yeah.
or from physicality or intimacy of some sort. However, as long as you're not using that as a go-to, as a crutch for
Yeah.
healing, it
Yeah.
can certainly be a part of healing, especially if that partner is somebody who is part of your support system and is part of, part of your healing journey. I mean, that's a wonderful thing to be able to share with them. But
Can you-
yes,
I don't know if I can highlight Ollie's comment.
I do not think you can. The
I-
last one?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It says, and tell the person up front you don't want to receive that. Don't tell XYZ without talking to the original one. Absolutely, 100%. I started dating again for the first time at 50, and it was a whole new world. And having to have that grown-up conversation, it's
Yeah.
different. And some people aren't comfortable with it. And you've got to get there, because
I mean,
you've got to be the adult in this relationship. Both you do.
Yeah.
And
I got lucky when it came to Matt. You know, he was one of my best friends,
that's awesome.
and he literally saved my life when it came to my ex a couple of times, like physically saved my life.
Your foundation was so solid.
Yeah.
You guys.
And I've put this poor man through hell, and he's still here, and I'll never let him go. He's way too good for me. And
There you
I say that lovingly and jokingly.
Right,
okay?
right.
I don't look at myself. I don't look down on myself in any way. I think that I deserve a
Mhm.
king, and he is my king.
That's awesome.
But I joke that he's way too good for me, but it don't matter because I'm not letting him go.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. He's 7 years younger. Go me.
Woohoo!
And he is amazing in
That's
every way.
awesome. Go Matt. Go Matt. Those are the people
Yeah.
that we need in our lives. And
I mean,
whether they're romantic partners or whether they're friends,
yeah.
these are the
And
people we hold tight to us.
I mean, I'm 41, and he and I are active. Okay, we are active, and he has come before we got together. He had even come to grips with the fact that he might never be a dad.
Mm.
And it took his parents a long time to get over the fact that I am 40, so it might not happen.
Mm.
And he's
Right.
the only male child.
Yeah. So the name and the whole thing. Yeah.
Now,
My brother
granted-
never had kids, and I had one. So
Now, granted, the Wagner name will never go away because there's his dad was the second oldest of 8.
right. There's others out there, so it's like your particular one does not have to,
Yeah.
keep going. But yeah, some people are really kind of,
Yeah.
out
But
about that.
his family, his parents are
Mhm.
have fully started like to make me even feel accepted, and that helps.
Good. Absolutely.
You
Yeah,
know, like
absolutely.
his parents went to St. Louis over the weekend to see Matt's oldest sister finally had her firstborn, and probably only they struggled to have kids as well.
Mhm.
And they went to the World Food Market and brought back a bunch of ramen, and she specifically looked for pho because she knows I love the Vietnamese pho,
Mhm.
and
Right.
found the only package that they had
Aw,
and brought it back for me.
that's so nice.
You know, just little things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Particularly
So
when you're in somebody else's family,
Mhm.
and it's just wonderful to have somebody else that is not obligated to love you, right? Basically doing things and saying, yes, you're a good person and we accept you, and you know, we're going to treat you just like we do,
Yeah.
you know, everybody else. And that's just, you know, getting that, you know, additional support.
Yeah.
I wanted to highlight Crystal's comment and speak to this a minute. Crystal says it's tough though when you have to have pain, because that's what happened when you're being abused. The pain was made normal, so now you have to have it to feel anything. And I want to say a couple of things on this.
And I got something
One.
to say after that.
Okay, awesome. One, it's okay.
Mhm.
It's okay if that's where you are now.
Mhm.
Had the abuse not happened, maybe you never would have veered that way. Maybe you would have. Who knows?
Mhm.
But that's where you are now. And that's what has been programmed for you. And it's okay. It's okay to be in that world, as long as you're doing it with somebody else who is consenting,
And expect and respects the boundaries that you set
respects
with
the
it.
boundaries, and that you yourself accept that the pain equals pleasure for you, and you have your own boundaries, because you can't just be there like, okay, yeah, pain, you know, bring it on type of thing. You need to. So if you were to ever delve into that, you know, you need to be with somebody who's very knowledgeable, who can teach you, because there are a lot of things to learn about this world. You know, I've done a lot of studying and a lot of talking to people, because I find non-traditional ideas, thoughts, experiences, whatever, fascinating. So it doesn't matter what topic you're talking about. So if you're talking about sex, yeah, everything on the edges is fascinating to me. Furries are fascinating to me. People who like balloons are fascinating to me. It's very different, and I wonder how in the heck did that one come about. But you know, how did you just one day go, sexy Mylar there? I tell you,
Let's stick a hamster up there. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah, just like hit off of your, you know. It's all different, right? You know, but
I don't judge.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so the first thing I want to say in regards to that, Crystal, is it is okay if that's what you decide to follow.
Yeah.
The second thing is, it's also okay if you decide, I feel like I have to have it, but I don't want to have to. I don't want. You can reprogram yourself. It takes a while. And if you don't have a partner, it is going to be a lot of self-analysis.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be needing to pleasure yourself and to feel what pleasures yourself and figure all of that out. So those are the two things that I have to say on that subject. And so there is no shame, no guilt in where you're at. So two different avenues that you can go down if that is something, you know, regardless of which one you choose to follow.
Sorry.
Ollie says, my ex was dumb abused and is 8 years older than me. I saved your life. The most difficult thing was to let it go. I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
Ollie and I have spoken on this a few times.
Yeah. And that is, again, that is why I say you have to educate yourself, because you need to know what is
Yeah.
okay. You
Mhm.
need to know, where do some people have their boundaries?
Yeah.
Where should I have my boundaries? What are the boundaries? What
Yeah.
kind of, what you need
And
all of this
that's
information in order to be able to make
yeah.
educated decisions on
Yeah.
whether or not this is for
And
you.
that does take experimentation.
Hmm.
And that's why you set a safe word.
Hmm.
You set a boundary to figure it out.
Hmm.
But what I wanted to say is EMDR is a good way to, if you want to repurpose those feelings because you don't want it to be like that. EMDR is actually a good way to do so, but it is intense.
We've spoken about EMDR
Yeah.
a little bit here before. We haven't gone into it in detail. We've brushed across the topic, but that a lot of trauma trauma survivors
Especially with
can find good relief for things that are very
especially
emotionally based.
especially CPTSD.
Hmm.
You know, CPTSD is a newer diagnosis, relatively, the complex PTSD.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is because the triggers for the PTSD are based out of childhood.
Mhm.
And a lot of times you don't even remember what. And then when you have a traumatic event happen in your adulthood, it basically compounds the trauma. It reawakens the trauma from your youth.
Mhm.
And that's why your PTSD symptoms are so much more severe.
You can
And
go ahead.
I was diagnosed with it.
Mhm.
And that's basically how my therapist explained it to me.
I've done a lot of research on CPTSD, and the one thing that I do want to mention for everybody is that you can have it as an adult, just get it as an adult,
Yeah.
and it can come out of toxic relationships,
Yes.
extremely violent
Mhm.
relationships, any of that sort of thing as an adult
Mhm.
can bring on CPTSD. And what Rachel, I don't know, something just went woo. What Crystal is talking about, this compoundingness, this is that complex part of it. So it's an ongoing thing. You're not going to get CPTSD from having, major T trauma, having just that one incident of something, whether that is a rape or whether that's a car accident or a war. That's not the type of thing. It is so very, very common in childhood because that's where you've got our classic compounding of day after day after day after day after day, week after week, right? Whatever your situation is. But when the same type of thing it presents itself as an adult, you can have it from there. But certainly when you have it as a kid, and then you've got and then you've got, even more things that go on as an adult, and you've got your own adult trauma.
Yeah.
The DSM is going to have to recognize complex trauma here soon. There's people, I would imagine within the next few years, you're going to see it added. The international, basically what's the DSM for international already has it. It's the IS something or other. Yeah. So, oh my gosh, Krista Melinda says she is finishing EMDR training next week.
Now, is that training
fabulous.
to become an EMDR practitioner, or the training to be able to
facilitate it? I do
No,
believe
I was
is
going to say,
her
because
thing.
before your therapist will even start actually doing the EMDR therapy with you, there are steps that you go through beforehand to get you ready, because EMDR is very intense.
And it's not going to be for everybody. I have heard some people with experiences who are like, I couldn't do it. I got, I got
My
dizzy. There
friend
was
Sharon can do it.
migraines, different things. that happens,
And
that's why we've got
also
tons of tools.
there are different ways that people do it as well. My sister had like the buzzers in her hand, or the hand lights and stuff.
Mhm.
Whereas with mine, it literally was patting.
Mm.
My therapist wanted me to do the tapping and things.
Mhm.
So there are different ways that your therapist can do it.
Mhm.
Um,
And tapping is also one of those ways that we can activate
self,
our parasympathetic
yep,
nervous
and
system, and it's
self-soothing.
self-soothing.
Yes,
And
my
whatnot.
EMDR therapist was very much on the what us LinkedInites like to say is woo woo. Okay.
That's okay. That's okay. Hey, Todd, I'm so glad you made it. How are you feeling this evening?
You know, yes, EFT is one of the anxiety things that I recommend to my clients, and I try to work with them on, is the container method. I don't like when you're getting ready for EMDR,
Mhm.
your therapist now, and this is almost every version of EMDR that I've read, the books, all of it. You make your mindscape. It can be anything.
Mhm.
Mine is a cottage on the seashore, but my memory storage is Hogwarts Library.
However you want it. Doesn't matter.
Hogwarts Library, full with even the forbidden
There you
section.
go.
The
Sure.
forbidden section is my dark memories.
Just want to put this up from Rattled Awake Book. Says
from
tapping
Bonnie.
is what moved the needle for me big time.
Yeah.
So yes. Now, is the container method something similar to EFT? We've covered EFT once in one video. So if you want to explain what EFT is again for people.
Of course, you put me on the spot. No.
I know. Do you want to? We'll try it together. EFT is a matter of generally of tapping certain places in a certain order and doing affirmations as you say them. And so you're activating your parasympathetic nervous system by the tapping. And you're also, the affirmations then are that positive reinforcement for your brain.
Yeah.
And what's nice about it is, yes, tapping can be very soothing for a lot of people. And they really recommend this with kids who are starting to not be able to regulate their emotions, whether that's because they're 3 or that's because they're 7 and you think the ADHD is starting to pop out, and going, okay, great, my kid's finally showing it. And here's something that can help them manage that. So that's what I understand.
I cheated. I won't lie. I ChatGPT.
There you go.
EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques.
Yes.
Okay. And it's tapping therapy. It's an approach combining elements of cognitive therapy and exposure therapy with acupressure.
Yeah, those are those specific spaces that you're tapping. I mean, there's one under the arm and stuff.
So EMDR is anything, not really. EMDR is eye movement, something recognition. Basically, what you're doing is reprogramming your emotions with specific memories.
Your eye movement, desensitization, and reprocessing.
Yeah, you're reprocessing the trauma memories and basically changing your trauma response.
For some reason, they found out that eye movement, and by having something going back and forth, whether it's your eyes that are going back and forth, whether you're tapping different back and forth, or you've got the buzzer going back, it's this going from one side of the brain to the other side of the brain that for some reason
it reprograms the trauma in it. My therapist had given me, and I wish I could find the website where it actually explains EMDR therapy in layman's terms, but medically, what it does to the brain itself. It actually reworks the curves in the brain with the trauma responses.
One of the, it was the same video that I covered all of these. I covered, I think it's trauma tools and more, or something like that.
I think that was one of the first ones that I think I was in with you.
Yeah, and we talked a lot about a lot of different soma body techniques, you know, things that you can do with your body, because a lot of survivors, we find that the soma based therapy really helps a lot more than cognitive therapy for some people. Never say don't try cognitive therapy, talk therapy. It can be very, very helpful for some people.
Honestly, I honestly feel a combination of both is what worked for me. I needed both.
Yes, absolutely.
And for most survivors that I've noticed, it is a combination truly of both when it comes to it. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, absolutely. No, you're fine. And what I have also found is, if you find that talk therapy is not for you at the place where you are, or you've tried it and you're just like, you know, this is just bringing up too many memories, I'm going over stuff that is just too painful, you may not be ready. There's tons of stuff that you can do yourself, and that you can, tons of places that you can go to have connection, to get the support that you need to work through any of these things that you're trying by yourself, and so you're not doing it by yourself. Then try therapy later on, once you've kind of gotten to a different place.
The reason I giggled, that's Ollie.
Cosmic.
He said, "Hi, Cosmic," but Ollie said, if someone says, "Here's the solution," run.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what made me giggle.
Yes,
when I read it, because it's true.
Absolutely.
There is no cookie cutter when it comes to trauma.
We come out all differently. We like different things. We whether it's food, whether it's, you know, what we're good at, what everything.
Music.
Why would trauma therapy be any different?
Exactly. Singing. You know? Like I have a playlist for every mood. I literally have a playlist for every mood, and it varies from Celtic, Renaissance music to Slipknot and country to Fiddler on the Roof. I'm not even kidding. Okay.
No, I get it.
I literally have a playlist for every mood.
Yeah.
And like my kids, they knew that if I was playing MSI, mindless self-indulgence, that meant that mommy was in a mood, and
mommy needed time.
Mommy needed time, and to turn around and walk away.
Well, see, that's great, though. That is absolutely great, because again, it's that early warning system for somebody going, let's just not engage with this, because we do. Isolation can be helpful for us. Yes. It's when we do it all the time, and when we do it to a completeness, right, where you're completely cutting yourself off.
Yeah.
And occasionally we need that. Occasionally, the world just becomes too overwhelming, and you need a break from it all. But it's when we do it days on days, and that's why, you know, lockdown started so many people finding out about mental illness, I think, you know, because
they were forced to.
Yeah.
You know, like
bye, Cosmic. Have a great Halloween. That is so awesome.
I kind of get on Misha for her isolating herself every now and then. I love you, Misha. But I don't do it in a bad way. Like, if I know one of my friends is going through something and I haven't heard from them in a few days, I will literally just send out a text that'll say, life check.
Oh, yeah. I just send to some of my friends, they know that I go, are you still alive? It's just my way of checking in and saying, you know, haven't heard from you in a while.
Yeah.
Maybe they've been totally busy and, you know, they're doing great. But yeah, I just want to know that
I will literally send out a 2-word, it'll literally say life check.
Yep.
And as long as I get alive,
Right. Exactly.
that's all I need.
Yep.
I just want to know if you're alive. When you're not ready, if you're not ready to come to me, I
Mhm.
respect those boundaries.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to end my friendship with somebody because they say I don't want to people I'm going through some stuff.
Right.
I had that recently happen to me.
Yep.
I had somebody who I thought I was very close to, and I was going through some stuff, and I said, I don't want to people. I'm working through some stuff. I need some space.
Yep. It's not any one person. It's I'm not doing other humans. You gotta understand.
But
It
she got
happens.
mad at me because this was also the week before my summit. My first summit that I'm hosting, I'm still, trying to promote and everything else. So yes, I was making posts.
Mhm.
Was I going live? No.
Right. Right.
But I was still making my posts and stuff because yes, I was trying to, get VIP tickets sold.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm happy I made $200 for my summit,
Yay.
for the first one I ever did.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely. Count it a success.
yeah, I do. And I mean, but the fact of the matter is, I was told it was unethical because I wanted to make a little bit of money, that it wasn't going to any organizations.
Okay, well, sometimes we do have to support ourselves, and self-care is a thing, and it does take time and effort
And
to put
uh,
these things on.
yeah,
So
get the 12 speakers that I had.
yeah.
I do have to pay for the internet. I had to pay for the Zoom.
Yeah, if this is a $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, profit, okay,
yeah,
maybe I'll consider giving some of it, depending on what my situation is. But come on, yeah, no, it's not.
I
Let
put a lot of time and work into it, and it's like, you're going to tell me I'm being unethical?
no,
It's like, I have a GoFundMe for Break the Silence,
right,
actually, and I do because they do a Christmas fund for angel families.
oh
For
yes,
children,
yes.
for children
Mhm.
of people that were killed in domestic violence. They have an angel fund for those families.
For those families, that's
Mhm.
wonderful. That's absolutely fabulous.
And so, yes, I am fundraising for that because I feel that these kids deserve to have a Christmas even though they lost their parents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you want to send that link on as well for your GoFundMe, I am fine sending that.
I
setting
will.
that
I
up as
actually
well.
would prefer. We are getting the new GoFundMe through the actual organization set up for this year. Once I have that, I will gladly pass it on.
Absolutely. We'll
Because
throw it
I
up
would
then.
rather it go directly to the organization than through
Then
me
to have
and
to
then
do
them.
right. Yeah.
Yes. I would much rather go that way.
Mm-hmm. Not a
But
problem.
it's just when it comes to the trauma and then turning everything around, the first couple of interviews that I did
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube, if you actually look, my ex made comments on them
Wow.
because they weren't through my channel.
Mm-hmm.
But these were also 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if anybody else can see them, but I can still see the comments.
Mm-hmm.
But I did report them and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is it's my truth.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I share my story, every time Misha shares her daughter's story,
Mm-hmm.
when we share our stories of healing, of what happened to our angels. I'm sorry, Ruby's mommy, I didn't mean to. You're not being a problem.
Nope. Ellen, take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Self-care is always the number one thing.
And I'm
that
sorry
I
if we triggered you. I'm so sorry if we activated it.
It can happen, but please take care of yourself and self-soothe yourself.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
if you want to watch the rest of it on replay another time, you can. If you just need to catch us at some other point, do that. You need to take care of you. 100%. Never an issue. So thanks for stopping by.
And Ruby, you can't see Ollie's comment, but Ollie says, hugs, you are loved.
Yes. And Oh, you do. So look at this.
Yes,
If you got
yes.
anybody else there to hug you, grab a big hug from them.
Yes.
Also, I want to announce before more people leave that we
Mhm.
are having Laugh Saturday this Saturday. It is the first Saturday of the month. So we are going to talk about silly things and stupid criminals and memes that I find funny, and hopefully you guys will too. So that is going to be Saturday's show. So
I've
if
done a
you,
lot of self-care watching kitty funny memes.
there you go. So if you
And
guys
those
want
ridiculous
to,
road signs and stuff that you find on YouTube. So I get that self-care. I love it.
okay, so since you said kitties, I'm going to tell you, and I have posted I think I posted on my first ones or whatever. There's this vet who changes their sign like all the time, and there was this one that said, because I have cats, so so there's no snooze button on cats who want breakfast, and it was so true. So things like that, yeah, absolutely. That I find hilarious. So that's what we're going to be doing. So any of you guys, if you're having a day,
I
if
will
you have
send
a
you
week,
I will
come.
send you some funny memes that I have found.
Absolutely, I tell you guys, so you send me stuff. David sends me things. Ruby's mom, you have a good rest of your evening.
Yes,
Okay,
please.
take care of
Please,
yourself,
yes.
and if you would like to join us on Saturday for some laughs at 3:00 Eastern, please do. We're generally on for at least an hour or two, talking about incredibly stupid people that we can laugh at. So it's a good time, very good time for everybody.
And that's, my friend Aaron Gibson does a show on LinkedIn called Soulmate.
Okay.
And it's like what we're doing right now. But about 3/4 of the way through, he does what he calls a mental health break.
Okay.
What he does is he gets a bunch of pictures from his co-host, who he's interviewing, and he will make them a video montage. Like he will ask you like a couple of your favorite songs, and he has you send him like 30 pictures. My mental health break is on my channel. He did it to the song "This Is Me." And
That's
so he breaks it
awesome.
up as a mental health break. And I love it. He's actually the one that made my opening for my lives for me. As a gift.
Cool.
Yeah. He normally charges about $250 for that kind of opening that he made for me. He did it as a gift.
That's so awesome.
Amazing person.
For you guys who don't know, Misha did the opening song here. So the Surviving Together song that you hear that's opening, it's a little long, but we love it. So I just have to sing along. I don't know if Chris could hear me or not when we were waiting backstage, but I jam out to it every single time. Crystal, I love those Zen coloring books. Those are fabulous. Fabulous. I had an actual coloring book because I didn't make adult coloring books when I was in college. And I actually had a box of crayons and a coloring book, and people would stop by and go, "I'm coloring your coloring book." I was like, this is so peaceful. And
what? There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, all over. Like, okay, this is something that I did an air spray with. Okay?
Oh, cool. Yeah.
But I did it with the Crayola marker air sprayer that you can get for your kids.
Oh, yeah.
And that's two stencils combined.
Yeah.
My original brand, basically. Okay? And it's
so
with
cool.
Crayola marker and an air sprayer. Okay? I have adult coloring books all over my office. My half of the office.
She still sings regularly. So, yeah.
I mean,
you're doing the online version, Crystal. Crystal M's doing the online version of the coloring. I know. I get stuck into that too because I'm like, wait a minute, let me just finish the 12s, because it's like coloring by number, except you're touching.
Which hanging, honey? This one? If that's the one that Todd is talking about, that is actually a Amy Brown fairy that Matt scanned and into our CDC machine, our laser burner, and then I painted the fairy, and then we made the frame. Apparently,
cool.
I'm assuming that Makers is Todd.
Yes, Makers.
That is my Oracle deck.
That is really cool.
That's Amy Brown Fairies.
That's cool. Those are neat.
Yes. And that is the most accurate deck I've ever had. Oh, the guitar. Which guitar, honey? Take your.
We're gonna.
Those are all Luna guitars. All of the acoustics on that wall are Luna. I'm learning to play, and Matt is very indulgent. I love Luna. I have the bass, and then the Oasis, the Phoenix, and the Rosa. Plus, we have the elusive 12-string semi-hollow. We have the 6-string semi-hollow. We have, we have a lot of Lunas because I'm obsessed.
That's okay. Hey guys, I just want to say one thing really quickly is I will actually move our little emblem next time so it's not like, stuck in somebody's head. Yes, Todd is very musical, and I think he plays, he says plays bass and guitar. Yeah. And he does use resin. Todd has his own channel as well. And he makes these incredible figurines and different things out of resin. He made one that was with UV paint.
Yep.
That's too cool. I was like, wow. I just saw a thing today for it's a new camera that allows you to take pictures, depending on which mode you're in, as different animals see the world.
That's cool.
So however whatever their coloration is that they can do, you can set it and say, okay, this is how a tiger sees the world. And let me take pictures of things. I'm like, that is the coolest thing ever. I want one.
Okay. I'm going to ask if Misha, can you send me Todd's channel to my Facebook so I can click on it, because the way, like with the stream, I can't click on his links right now. So if you could send
UV resin, not UV paint. Okay, yes.
Yeah. I knew what you meant. I've dabbled with resin. Todd, I also have a Luna Calhoun as well. If you don't know what the Calhoun is, it is the drum that you can sit on. They're like a box.
Really cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Misha set something up and she wanted me to share it, and I'm going to see if I can do that right now.
Wow, we've been on for an hour and a half.
I know, it's amazing that it
when a good conversation gets going, right?
Believe it, the longest I ever had was 4 hours, and that was insane. Okay, so Misha sent this to me to put up for all of us. It says, if I showed you my teardrops, would you collect them like rain, store them in jars that are labeled with pain? Would you follow their tracks from my eyes down to my cheeks as they write all the stories I'm too scared to speak? Would you stop them with kisses, bring their flow to a halt as you teach me that pain isn't always my fault? I'm going to say never your fault.
Yeah.
Would you hold my face gently as you dry both my eyes and whisper the words, you're too precious to cry, but do if you need to? If I showed you my teardrops, would you show me your own and learn that we're lonely? Though we're lonely, we are never alone. And that is definitely what we are here at Surviving Together, never alone. Yep. We survive together. Connection is so critical for us trauma survivors. No matter what your trauma is that you've survived from, you got to connect with other people. You got to have a support system.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
One of those things.
Yeah. And when you get isolated from your abuser, when they isolate you, it's amazing what happens when you reach out to those family and friends that you pushed away. How many of them will actually welcome you home with open arms? Whether you can physically move to them or not, they will. A good portion of them will welcome you back and say, okay, now what?
Right.
I'm here.
And because a lot of them didn't understand why you pushed them away in the first place.
Mhm.
It is, and we talked about this, and we talked about grooming. We talked about adult grooming. This is one of those things, the domestic violence cycle, very similar to the alcoholic cycle, the alcoholic marriage cycle, and sexual grooming with kids or an adult. They don't want anybody else around that is going to try and convince you right, that he's not, every word isn't the absolute. You don't want people to be showing you red flags, so they try and isolate you from everybody. That doesn't mean those people who you've isolated, who you've pushed away, don't still love you. And you may
Now,
feel like a
sometimes-
fool. You may feel like a fool. You may feel like an idiot. You may go, God, why did I not see this? Or, what? Guys, it can happen to anybody. We try to educate ourselves. It's the best defense we have for getting sucked into a relationship. But even the best people can get sucked into relationships that are toxic. You would think a therapist would know, right? And there's a therapist I've listened to who got sucked into a toxic relationship.
Oh yeah. The therapist that I said that you remind me of, Natalie, she was in an abusive relationship.
It is one of those things, love, lust, all those endorphins that go through with you when you're in a relationship, and then if they're able to capitalize on it, and you haven't kind of gotten your wherewithal to you,
and 90% of the time they basically they don't show you their true colors at first. I mean,
no.
It took, there were some small red flags in the beginning of my abusive relationship, okay? But I was leaving an emotionally abusive relationship. He was a way out. It was new, exciting, and he was a bad boy. So, your family in Iowa got me. Iowa just sucks, Todd.
Crystal's got an Iowa connection. I've got my Iowa connection, and that's just for anybody who is from Iowa, who loves Iowa. Bless you. It just was not for us.
No, not at all. But by the time they show their true colors, they have systematically broke you down by that point. Because they do it in little ways. And they get subtle. And they get you so codependent on them. Whether it's they are controlling the finances and everything, or like with me, it was the mommy gene in me, you could say. I've always been the one to take care of everybody. And I also had kids with him. You know what I mean? So I was codependent in the taking care of. And he played on that. But he also trained my kids, like you said, the grooming, not to listen to me. And then they would get in trouble for not listening to mommy by him.
Right.
In front of me to make it look good. But he was always overriding me. So it was very subtle. Like you said. So no.
And then by that time you're questioning yourself. Because you're like, wait a minute. I guess that kind of makes sense. And
the gaslighting.
Your brain's just scrambled, and it generally can take
blaming you for your emotions.
Oh yes, absolutely. Guys, this is all part of the stuff
I got mad at him.
Grooming and love bombing.
I got mad at him for cheating on me, and he tried to flip it on me.
Oh, 100%.
It was my fault he cheated on me, because when he hit me, I didn't let him touch me for 2 months. But when he cheated on me, we were back active. We were pretty active at that point, but I worked overnight.
Mm,
So while I was at work,
right.
bring these strange women into my house where my kids are asleep upstairs.
Uh,
But I had no right to get mad.
right.
It was my fault.
Exactly. Yeah.
No.
Even- and as we're sitting here and as we're on this side of it, this side of our survivorness, we go, oh my God, that's so freaking ridiculous,
Oh,
right?
even at that point when he said that to me, I was like, no. I did not.
But if you
take it.
hadn't, if you had been like, oh my God, this is, oh
Yeah.
my God, I'm not, oh my God, you would have
But
been
I did-
totally
I did-
justified. You still would have, you would have been totally justified in believing that.
But
because of
I
how
did.
they
I
treat
did
you.
wonder why I wasn't enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was my big thing. Was why
Mhm.
am I not enough? And my childhood trauma played into that as well.
Oh yeah.
Of
Definitely.
abandonment issues.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know. So, and he played into that.
Oh,
He-
they're wonderful at
Yeah.
playing off your other traumas and
So-
figuring out, what
Oh,
is
yeah.
what does trigger you. So,
Mhm.
put that in the back of the head and stuff.
No, Todd, he couldn't.
I wanted to, something Ollie said was, red flags are not always red. There's red, lots of orange, sometimes green in the same flag.
Yeah.
And this is so true. And, this is one of those things you can say, like, sometimes they won't isolate you from your family, but they will ingratiate themselves into your family.
Yeah.
So it
That's what
doesn't
happened with my
matter
friend Cherry.
what you could say because they're all like, him?
Yeah.
He's an angel. What do you
Oh
mean?
yeah.
No, you
My-
must have misunderstood him.
Yeah,
Let's talk it out. Whatever.
My friend Cherry's ex-husband is a
Good
fire
night,
marshal.
Todd.
for
Take
God's sake.
care.
And her abuser, he was a fire marshal. He's a
Mhm.
fire marshal. And so a lot of people would not believe. And
Yeah.
her abuse
Mhm.
was not one that you could physically see,
Mm,
but it was a physical abuse. And that's as far as I'm
yeah.
going
that's
with
fine.
her story.
Mhm.
But he was a fire marshal, for God's sake.
Yeah.
A trusted public figure. I mean, my God, he's a firefighter.
A firefighter, a policeman,
he-
doctor, lawyer, whatever,
Yeah.
Yep.
And
You're
that's
seeing the front layer of the person. Exactly.
it's what and there's a book that I recommend all the time, and it's a very hard read, especially for somebody who is a survivor. But it's a book I recommend highly. It's called Why Does He Do It?
Mm.
It explains a lot about abusers and their mindsets because it's written by a therapist who worked with the abusers that were state sent, not the
Mhm.
ones that actually
Right.
wanted the help,
Right.
but the ones
right.
that were first to go to this program. So, and yes, Crystal, that is 100% true. That's exactly what I was just saying. When we were talking at the very beginning, or when in private, I made the comment that a lot of abusers are higher than the upper middle class. Because if you think about it, I'm not saying like the Kennedys, but pretty sure Trump's abusive, mentally at least. A lot of politicians, things like that. But the reason the women don't say anything or leave, a lot of times they're scared. They don't want to lose their lifestyle. They've never
And-
worked a day in their life. And
Well,
if they leave, it's their word against his against hers, and whichever one's the more powerful, because let's face it, women can be just as abusive as men,
mhm,
whether it's mental. A friend of Ollie's and mine on LinkedIn, Charles, he was financially and sexually abused by his wife, his
This is,
ex-wife.
and this is why we
Mhm.
covered female abusers in one of our
Yep.
lives. And this is why the stats that you see for SA
Mhm.
continually are going up for female abusers, whether it is them
Because
solo
men are
or them
finally
involved with a man doing it. And that's a whole nother dynamic. But
Yep.
yes, men are finally
Yep. And it's
feeling more
because of
comfortable to come
it's
out.
because of people like us, like Nisha, you know, different friends of mine on LinkedIn,
Mhm.
that because we are speaking up, making it known, making it okay
Yes.
to own it. And I'm just using us as examples,
Mhm.
but we are actually making a change
Yes.
because we can see it statistically. People are coming forward, and the more people that come forward about it,
Mhm.
the more awareness comes, the more victim shaming goes away. Then maybe domestic abuse is no longer taboo, and people actually stand up.
Yes.
And
Sexual
that's
abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, all of it, especially extremely important to talk about that abusers and victims can be anybody in society, any layer, it doesn't matter. They can be
it
any
is
race,
very
any
true.
color,
Yeah.
anything. And you're
Um,
going to find it. So you are going to find it anywhere.
yeah.
And
And it is very true. It's a lot harder for a man to admit to abuse than it is a woman.
well, for a long time, they didn't think that a woman could sexually abuse a man. And there was, so there's, when we think about the stigma for us, for females, I mean, I think about it for men, how doubly it is. It doesn't even matter if they're in a position of power in the relationship, just being believed at all. But the more we talk about this, we normalize it. And that is the key. And the more we talk about it, the more we're educating people and the more we're getting the word out and they're understanding what we're talking about. And that is teaching our other generation. That's why I'm so education. I don't care who you talk to your neighbor, talk to the kid down the street, we just want everybody to know what to look out for themselves, for their neighbors. It does take a village. And by isolating ourselves, we've disconnected. And that connection is really part of what keeps us safe. Because you look at what happens when you isolate. What happens when your guy isolated you? You need to keep those connections.
And like I said, I have said it a million times. I literally have Matt to thank for being alive.
That's wonderful.
Now granted, this is a trauma trigger warning, guys. I'm gonna put it out there. This is a trigger warning. The only reason why I lived past 2019's Christmas was because I heard my kids play. My ex had destroyed all of my dishes because he didn't want to wash them. And I'm sitting on the floor in the kitchen, bawling. It's Christmas morning. We had just opened the presents and he was being such a bastard that to the girls, even with their toys and stuff. I'm cleaning up these broken pieces on the floor, and there was a piece of the ceramic plate in a perfect blade. And I'm sitting there, and I still have a small scar. Straight down.
Yeah.
I wasn't playing around. I wasn't
right.
going.
Wasn't doing the crossover.
No.
Yeah.
I was going, and I did break skin, but not very hard.
Not very deep.
Not yet. And I heard them playing. It wasn't that I wanted to see them grow up. It was, I can't leave them with this bastard.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that stopped me then. But Matt physically saved my life a couple of times. And 2022, when January 5th, I was told I had to make the phone call to the hospital in Florida and take my sister off life support. And then the next morning was told I'd lost my case for my girls. And that January 9th would be the last time I see them. if it was not for Matt.
Mhm.
That would
The
have been it.
hits, yeah. There comes a point sometimes where the hits just keep on coming, and you get to that point that it's just like, I just don't know if I can keep doing this. I just
And
can't, just
my
facing another day.
my ex was very active in his traumatizing me at that time, even though we'd have been apart for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Misha says she loves you,
Yeah,
Crystal.
no, that's why I smiled.
Yeah, I figured.
So I literally, it was my anger on January 10th,
Mm-hmm.
because January 10th I put 2 and 2 together,
Mm.
and I realized that my ex had sold the girls.
And you mean
I,
to an adoptive couple, basically.
basically he helped convince the judge to terminate my rights as well,
Mhm.
by convincing him that I could not keep my girls safe from him, by her just basically harassing, and constant.
Yeah.
And my anger on that day, but January 9th,
Mm-hmm.
when I held my babies
Right.
and had to say goodbye, I wanted to die.
I can only imagine.
The minute that they pulled away, I literally hit the ground.
I bet.
And was just, I couldn't do it.
It was always my biggest fear. Always my biggest fear. I completely understand.
And but I refuse to give up the fight. I refuse.
Congratulations.
I have a legal leg to stand on, but did I break in that moment?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
I broke.
We a lot of us have been to that moment, right? You lived through something absolutely horrendous on so many levels. And for me, and I've shared this with you guys before, I lost my job, I lost my husband, and I lost my home all within 10 days. And that, for me, that was my break. And
I'm sorry, I was laughing at Misha's comment, because it's like, oh, you mean you're human?
Yeah. Yep.
Yes. No, I am the kitty phoenix, love.
Riseability with possibilities are infinite. Welcome.
Yes.
We're so glad you are
that is the
visiting
beautiful
us.
Sharon. I have written with her in a few books as well.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. She also was a presenter for my summit, and actually the summit that I was telling you about earlier, the 22-day okay, Sharon, put it in the comments. Ollie, one of the two of you, put it in the damn the virtual retreat that the beautiful Jen Lynn, and some of you on here know who I'm talking about. Misha knows who Jen Lynn is. The virtual retreat for 22 days, actually, Ollie, Misha, or not Ollie, Sharon, and I are all presenting on different days.
And by Sharon, she means the riseability with possibilities, infinite person. See, this is why I'm Mac, because I don't know how we got Shannons and Sharons all over the place. Whenever we get bigger groups around here. So,
but Jen Lynn is doing a 22-day virtual retreat.
And what is the goal of the retreat?
Oh God! And she didn't send me the press release. Basically, the retreat is it's a mental health. A lot of it's about mental health.
Okay.
And it's promoting different things. It's I believe the baseline ticket is, I don't want to quote a direct price until I have Jen Lynn, but I think she was saying $250. But that's for all 22 days. And it's amazing. Oh, it is now something I'm being corrected.
Yeah.
We're going. I believe it's a virtual retreat. It's a virtual retreat combined with the summit. But I'm not 100%. But it's basically a relaxation. There's going to be presentations about writing. I believe Sharon and Nick are on the same day when it comes to that stuff.
Sharon's saying
Wellness.
something.
Oh,
Wellness,
it's 250.
and it's 250.
Well, okay. Thank you, Sharon. Love you.
Awesome.
I swear to God, one of these days I am going, once I start like bringing in the money, I keep joking with Sharon, but I swear to God, it's true. Once like my coaching business actually is making flush, I swear to God, I'm going to start paying this woman because she is like my like secretary in a way. I swear to God, I'm going to pay her as my assistant. I tell her this all the time.
Yeah,
but
there's several people. Yeah, you several people who seem to kind of feed me some things, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, so thankful for them.
Yes, Sharon is an amazing friend and support, and we joke because we kind of do it with each other for different things. We are like each other's kind of date book and reminders when it comes to certain things.
Yeah, it's somebody to check in, an accountability person. You know?
Yeah,
that's awesome. Gets the structure.
But it's funny. I swear, because she's also my research queen. She does really good with research. Sharon she's also writing in my book, her and her son, Aaron.
Nice.
But she is like a real big with coaching with neurodiversities, and everything, and basically doing the parent work schedule, like the balance.
Yeah.
And her new program is amazing. You guys should check out her website, and her channel, which I believe is in there. But she's got this amazing superpower. Like, what is your superpower program that she put together? The notebook is so much fun.
Nice.
Yes, and I agree. Yes, it's NeuroSpicy Loves.
Absolutely.
So.
All right. Bye, Todd. Good night. You have a good one.
I am getting looked at because I'm pretty sure dinner's ready. We've gone.
Shoot me, anytime. Shoot me any links that you want, whether it is about things that you've got going on.
Oh, okay. Matt actually really spoiled me. He just told me he made me a steak.
Oh, yum, 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 yum.
Yeah. So I love you guys, but I'm gonna. I will definitely send you that email. I normally will stick around to say the goodbyes, but I want my dinner.
Absolutely. Toodles. Let's
oh yeah, I'm so shy and quiet. So you're so delicious. I love you.
Awesome. Well, Crystal and I have, spoken, and I'm trying to. I'm gonna show up on her channel sometime, and we're just gonna start passing people around. So it's gonna be great.
I always have to have it end with a laugh, guys.
Absolutely. There you go. All right, go eat. Go eat. We'll talk to you later. Thanks, Crystal. Love you too.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye. All right, guys. Thank you all for coming over and stopping by with that. Yeah, steak. I'd be hopping off too. My goodness. I did not make dinner tonight, and I have got to go make some eggs for David. Something easy to eat where you don't have to strain yourself with the darn hernia. Don't want that pulling. So, yep, she said goodbye with us. We'll definitely send David your love. Yep. And thankfully, eggs are easy to make. It was lovely here today. Tomorrow it's supposed to turn nasty, and it's Halloween. So perfect for Michigan. It's never nice on Halloween for Michigan. Doesn't matter how nice it is leading up to it. It's always going to be crappy on Halloween. So we're going to see what happens today. Firefly says we made eggs tonight. Awesome. Cool. I love having breakfast for dinner. I love breakfast in general, and sausage. Ooh, that would be neat. You're expecting twisters there this evening. Why am I not surprised? We had some rain that went in and out through the day. And so farther south, yeah, I could definitely I could definitely see how that could be. Crystal M, you're so welcome. I'm so glad you were here with us today, and I'm glad things are going fairly well for you. It sounds, just keep on keeping on and keep on with the self-care. All right, Crystal, email me anytime. Surviving Together, sass@gmail.com. If anybody has any questions or comments for me that you want not listed in the comments section here, you can email me and I'll gladly respond to you. If you have anything for the Saturday, anything funny, any memes, any crazy stories that you want included, please send them to me. I'd be happy to throw them in as long as they're appropriate. Firefly says might have a clear Halloween this year. Wow. Wow, that's often. Misha, you're so wonderful. You are just you are a bright light shining, even if you don't realize it. Very much. I think she is absolutely amazing, as I know most people in here do. Guys, I will, as soon as I get a chance, probably first thing tomorrow morning, I will be putting up all these links that we talked about in the description for this video. Also in the description is the email address, and I will try and put the books and the other YouTube movies, documentaries that Crystal talked about down there. It may take me a few days to get everything put together, but that's where it'll be. So please check out her channel if you guys haven't already. If you're not a subscriber, head on over there and subscribe. Let's help our fellow survivors out. Everybody, we're in this together. And if you guys are over from Crystal's channel, if you could hit that subscribe and that like button here, that would be wonderful. Helps me out, helps get the word out about this channel and reach more people, and hopefully bring more people into the fold. Tell more people it's not their fault. It's really their biggest goal here, right? Bring people into in for connection. Yep, hit that thumbs up button, guys. Don't forget, I have another email from you. Yes, I saw that and I wanted to click on it so badly, but I didn't. So it's really going to be, awesome. Firefly says, I'm super new here, so I'm not really sure what goes on. Well, when I started this place, I wanted it to be a safe space for sexual assault survivors. The more I learned about trauma, because I told everybody, I'm going on this journey with you. I'm not healed. I've healed from a lot of things, but there's certain areas that I have a lot to learn, especially since I've kind of discovered I have adult ADHD. That's a whole new, for me, right? So we create a safe space for any trauma survivors to connect with other trauma survivors. You may not have had the exact same experiences, but the trauma that you've experienced is going to be the same. So we talk about different aspects. First Saturday of the month, though, is last Saturday. We don't do anything serious. We're just going to spend time getting together, talking, connecting, and laughing, because laughter really is the best medicine. Laughter is so healing. If you don't believe me, check out the science behind it. You can look at the live that we did. It was Laughter is the Best Medicine. I am trying to take each of my lives and condensing them down into less than 30-minute videos, so you can have the information without all of the chit chat and the back and forth if you don't want to spend an hour or two, listening to a live. So check out any of the pre-recorded videos that I have. There's a handful of those. My story is included in 3 different parts in there. And then each week I try and pick a topic. We've talked about the effects of porn. on adults, where it's going, how hard it is, where that might lead in the future. What is happening with porn and kids? The fact that you've got a whole generation that is basically raised on porn. It's at their fingertips. It's so accessible. We've talked about male survivors. We've talked about female abusers. Pretty much anything in the realm of trauma, of healing, of the effects, we're going to cover at some point in time. I'm going to be going back to the beginning a little bit and covering more with just trauma itself and trauma in the body, because there's so much to talk about there. And then I'm not sure where we're going to branch off into. We had gotten our discussions about, what was I saying? We were talking about depression and things of that nature. And I'm not really sure where we'll go from here. I am also doing research, and there is going to be a true crime side. I do have a podcast list, or a playlist that says true crime. Right now, it has one video. It will have two, and they're both about Giselle Pellico, who is a superhero, in my opinion. She is a survivor of rape by her husband and people her husband got to come over and do this while she was unconscious. He had put stuff in her food and her drinks to render her unconscious. So really somebody who has come out as a defining figure in starting a movement in France. And so those two videos, I did an original video, and then I did an update just this past week when she did her testimony. She actually testified. So we had some of the things that she was saying. And the things that she was saying from the stand were so inspiring. She was speaking directly to the survivors, particularly in France, and just an amazing woman. Such a sad case, but such an inspiration. And 72 years old, guys, and this is the cause she's going to champion. She says, it's not just me, and I'm not going to stay quiet. That's awesome. Incredibly awesome. So anything I do true crime related, I'm going to put in there. I've got a big research project, true crime related, that I'm doing, and it has to do with child pornography rings and child pedophile rings. So I have many videos that will be spawned off of this, because I really want to take you guys from the beginnings of this, of what we've documented, been able to document, and kind of follow it through, and then follow the branches, and how do they branch, where do they interconnect. And we're going to take that up through about the 80s in the US. And there's some things overseas in Europe that we're going to cover, rings that have been over there. And then we're just going to cover some of the online rings, because once we had the internet, woohoo, right? It became so much easier for these people to trade information and to make it themselves, right? Everybody's just got a cell phone. Boom, you got your video, right? So definitely all the online stuff as well that just kind of came. So it's a kind of a three-pronged thing. It's a huge research project I'm doing. I'm reading an incredible book right now called Eye of the Chicken Hawk. And it's very informative. There's a couple other ones I want to read before I'm ready to put this all together. But so that's another project I got going. Caucasian Sasquatch. You're a bit busy, but you're going to like. Well, thank you so much. Very much appreciate that. And if you want to come on over and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications, you'll get notification of our next live, hopefully, which is at 3%. Hopefully you'll get the notification. It definitely will be there. Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern. It's Laugh Saturday, and we're going to be just talking about fun stuff, right? No seriousness. Grooming got a lot easier. It did. And the reach of it, you know, being able to arrange for people from state to state, you know, Zoom, being able to do this from across the country with, you know, a victim in one state in the United States and somebody in Russia as a user. It just, yeah, it blew it up is what it did. You'll be able to see from where the child pornography was before, which was huge. Most people just had no idea. But if you were in the know, then you knew. And it was huge. But then when we look at the leap from there to the internet, whoa. I mean, the explosion is incredible. So in a nutshell, Firefly, that's what I do here. We've got a great group. We call it our SaaS community. Surviving Together, sass@gmail.com is our email. The SASS is because Surviving Together itself was taken. So SASS originally was just sexual assault support, sexual assault survivor support, something like that. That's just what I came up with. And then one of our people said, well, we're the SaaS community, because we couldn't decide, you know, there's, you know, some people like what has, you know, the boaters, other people, they're villagers, you know, whatever. So we were trying to come up with a name, we could not. So, but SaaS sucks. So SaaS community. And eventually I would love to open the SaaS Foundation to pay for therapy for people who cannot afford therapy. So we do get a little bit sassy. We cover a little bit of everything here. The channel is open. So if you want to come on, if you've got something to discuss, we're always more than willing to do that as well. If that means that I have to put what I've set to discuss aside for that day, that's fine. That's fine. So you don't have to be a trauma survivor, though, to be on this channel. You could want to support a trauma survivor. And so you're learning more about it. And how do I support that person? And finding out all this information so that then you can educate other people as well. So anybody's welcome. We respect each other and we don't judge each other as to where we are in our healing process. Thank you. I think that's about it. Good. I'm glad you like it here so far. That's awesome. We aim to please, don't we, guys? We definitely want you to feel like you've got a safe space here. And a couple of things that I've heard. I already go to therapy. I don't need your channel. Great, you go to therapy. You know what? You still need connection. It doesn't hurt to have support. And that's what people here offer. So if you don't need the actual information, if you don't need to talk about your own situation, that's fine. That's the other thing. You don't have to talk. You don't have to talk about your own situation. You never have to tell your story. These are reasons that I've heard that people are like, well, your channel's not for me because, and I have to let them know, no, it can be for you as well. So it can be for anybody, guys, anybody. Misha wrote a poem about her experiences called Learning to Love Myself Again, and it is wonderful. So please go check out Misha's channel. She's got a bunch of songs that she's made on there that I think are just fabulous. And even if the, if the video, if the graphics aren't for you, listen to the words. I guarantee you they will captivate you. Um, she's amazing at it. I am a little bit of wonder at all of you creative people. For somebody with ADHD, I'm not that creative. Crystal says being part of a community of people who've been through similar things is empowering. Yes, I definitely agree. I definitely agree. I don't know if you've ever told somebody your story, whether it's an essay story, whether it's a DV story, domestic violence, and somebody looks at you and they're like, "Oh, I'm really sorry. That sucks," and they don't know what else to do, and they don't know what else to say. You know what? We do. We do. We know what else to say. We know what else to do because we've been there. And we learn from each other. We learn so much from each other. And that is why I am so glad that so many of you have branched off and have started your own channels that are doing things with your channels that are helping in your healing journey. Because not everyone's doing something with mental health. A lot of people are doing artistic type things. Misha also does lives though, guys, where she chit chats, and she's had some powerful ones. Her words are incredible. She speaks from the heart, and you feel it. You really do. So definitely check her out. This 9 letters as we have listed after our names, we got to do something with it. There you go. Amisha says, but I had a meltdown yesterday. It's okay. It happens. Sunday, I was in my office in my reading chair pretty much all day. I did not want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to see anybody. I read like 3 books. I couldn't. I couldn't deal with my own thoughts, and so I couldn't deal with anybody else's problems or thoughts, even if it was like, where are my socks? I just, it was like, so. Crystal says, Misha, your meltdown yesterday was powerful. You had it live. It was scary. I bet it was. But you affected a lot of people, it sounds like. I keep hearing from people who say how much you affected them. So all your vulnerability showed through, and people understood. So congrats. It's wonderful. It's wonderful to be powerful that way, to show people that it's possible. Happy tears. Just happy tears. Lisa says she made it through because of the family that she's actually chosen. Not but because of me, and that changed my whole life. We can choose our family. We can choose our support system. There are people out there, even if you feel that you have no friends, no family, no support system, there are people out there who will support you, who will be there for you, who do understand what you're going through. And when you find that connection and you talk to that first person who has that similar experience, and you go, oh my God, you get it. That for me, I'll start crying. That for me was a real defining moment. The first time I actually spoke out loud to somebody else who'd been through what I had been through. The first time I spoke with somebody else who was the victim of child on child sexual abuse, bawled my eyes out for days. Watershed moment, literally watershed moment, when I found out that child on child sexual abuse was possible, that it was a thing, that I wasn't nuts for feeling like a victim because of it. I always felt like I didn't have a right to. Wasn't an adult. First time I connected with somebody like that. It is very powerful. Sorry, guys, I've been up pretty early. Crystal says, first time I heard someone say they've been abused by their brothers as well, I finally believe that maybe somebody could understand me. Yeah. If you endure childhood abuse, depending on your age when it starts, chances are you think it's somewhat normal, or this happens in everybody's household, or does this happen in everybody? Does this happen to other people? Why is it just me? All of that stuff, all of those thoughts, it all goes away when you find your village, when you find the people who can truly understand you, whether that's because they have been through it themselves or whether they have taken the time to learn about the trauma, to learn about how it affects somebody, and to learn about how to support that person and what to do to help them on their healing journey. I think each and every one of you in this SAS community are amazing people. And each and every one of you at some point has contributed something incredible and moved me in ways I'm truly humbled by the fact that you guys show up twice a week for me and for each other. Because that's the thing that I feel like I'm just hosting the space. You guys don't come here for me. You come here for us. And that's beautiful. And so as long as this space is helpful, and as long as I am facilitating connection and not divisiveness, this channel will continue. That is my promise to you guys. I've also decided that my true crime, any episodes that I do from now on, I am going to do them on a different day. So they're going to be their own separate thing. I have them separated out into the playlists because I don't want to take any more time from the topics that we talk about with trauma. We'll do the true crime on a separate day. So, da-da-da. Here for me and the rest of us. Well, it's because I'm part of us, right? So, ta-da! We're here for all of us. That's absolutely all right. Well, guys, I am going to check on our patient. I'm going to check on David and see how he's doing. hopefully he took a pain pill a little bit ago, so hopefully he's out and asleep, and we'll stay that way for a while. I hope he sleeps through the night. I know I probably have a dog to take out before I can go to bed, and I'm going to check on my son and make sure, see how he's doing, and ready for work in the morning. And yeah, oh my gosh, it is 8:18 here. Firefly says, I'm still learning a lot. You and me both. Every time I research, I feel like I learn more. I'm not a licensed therapist. That's not what I went to school for. My degree is in law, but I lived it. And that's why I love having other people on here too, because they bring something else and they bring their ideas. And so it is just so wonderful to have all of that. Okay, Glitter World, it's so good to see you. I know we met a long time ago, and I haven't seen your name in quite a while. So glad you're there. And Glitter just made me giggle because all these white hairs that are in my hair here. I heard one person say they're not gray hairs or white hairs. It's wisdom glitter. So thank you, Glitter. I've got wisdom glitter in my hair, lots of it. Apparently, I'm getting more and more wise. Soon it's just going to be white. We'll see. I don't know how long that'll take. But yeah, I've got some eggs to make for a certain someone. Thank you all for coming here today. Thank you for showing up on either my stream or on Crystal's stream. Please, if you are a subscriber of one channel and not of the other, go visit. Hit that like and subscribe button. Leave a comment if you want after the show. All are appreciated. Helps the algorithm. I love you guys so much. Remember, you are worthy. You are valuable. You're strong because you're a survivor. And most of all, you're loved just the way you are for who you are. I know the outro may be a little long, but our intro's long, so the outro's got to be long, right? Hey, Rick, so glad you joined us today. Mwah. I love all of you so much. Hugs and love. Please contact me if you need anything, and I will see you guys on Saturday. Be ready to laugh. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.